video for Wednesday the 27th of August, and I'm on my way to Wisbech to pick up a long wheelbase founding job going 59 miles to Lincoln. I'm about 22 miles away from the pickup. It's about half an hour's drive, and the time now is 10:15. I need to be on site at 11. So it's been a late start. I did have a look at anything local that would have got me going earlier, but there was nothing that would have got me to Wisbech in time for 11 o'clock. Which I wasn't surprised about, because it's quite hard to find small local jobs where I live. And I'm getting £70 for this job, 70, which is not a bad rate. I'm pleased with that. And I will be in Lincoln about 1 o'clock-ish. I'll be in Lincoln about 12:15. So in terms of my expectation today, I'm not expecting to have very much go on. Lincoln's quite a tough area to get a decent job from. You can do it, it is possible, but it's sort of 50-50 whether I will get anything. And Lincoln's only an hour from where I live, so if I end up being there for too long, the longer I'm there, the more I'm going to think, let's just go home and call it quits. So I may well have a very short day today. At least this payment will be paid at the end of September, so that'll increase my income for next month. And I'll hopefully get a few more jobs in today and tomorrow that pay in September. It's not the end of the world if they don't, to be honest, but it's just nice to have a bit more money coming sooner. Just makes things a bit more comfortable. And then the only other thing to talk about really is a bit of a update on yesterday. I listened to half the book on sleep while I was driving around and found it very interesting, and I'm going to start to implement, or I have started to implement, some of the recommendations or some of the ideas to get myself having a more rested night and better quality sleep. And I do think it'll make a big difference to other aspects of my life, my weight loss, my general feeling of fatigue, my sort of resilience to other infections, and my brain capacities or cognitive abilities. So I am looking forward to seeing that as being a step in my self-improvement moving forward. Again, like all these things, it's not that I didn't know about this. It's not a knowledge deficit per se. It's just about knowing it at the right time so I can implement the actions into my life. So I'm going to do that this week, all week, and just see what effect it has. So this morning's little experiment, in case you're interested, is I chose to doze rather than get up when I woke up. And I just did that for as long as I felt I needed to, because I had plenty of time this morning. And then I ended up opening my eyes at around about 8ish. Oh, so just to be clear, I have a eye mask on, so when I say open my eyes, I mean take off the eye mask. And then probably within about half an hour of doing that, I would say I felt fully awake and refreshed and able to get on with the day. So my experiment was today to do that after dozing for like a couple of hours. And tomorrow what I should do is I will probably wake up around about 6:30ish. I aim for about 6:30, and then I'll just open my eyes straight away and see whether after half an hour or so I'm still feeling refreshed. And my guess would be that yes, I would feel just as refreshed with or without the snoozing. I'm not convinced that snoozing is healthy. It's good for me. It feels really nice. It gives you a great dopamine hit, but it's not necessarily part of a good quality sleep. So in terms of me wanting to be more alert and awake earlier, I'll probably need to cut out the dozing side of what I do in the mornings, which is not easy, I must say, but if I go to bed earlier, get better sleep, then hopefully that'll be easier. So anyway, the reason why I mention all that is that's how I think about the world and myself. I like to experiment, to do new things, to sort of work out what works for me. And most people wouldn't be interested in that. They couldn't care less, because they either wouldn't agree, wouldn't be for them, or they're not interested. So I'm not trying to pretend it's interesting, but it is genuinely, authentically me. It is who I am, and that's what this channel is about. It's about me presenting myself, generally who I am, warts and all. So that's the only reason why I say all these things, because they are true. They're my truth. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm doing. So that's what I'll tell you about. Right. Hopefully today will be better than I think it's going to be. But I'll let you know. Right. It is now 1:15. I've just got myself a second job. It's not a big job by any means. But what I'll do is I'll put up a map to show you where I am at the moment, which is just outside of Lincoln in the countryside. And there's quite a few drivers around sort of this area of the country. As in, there's at least 4 or 5 sort of between me and the coast. I put a couple of bids on things going. One was Skegness to Peterborough, one was Peterborough to Wisbech, I think it was, sort of going back there. And there wasn't an awful lot going on, so I had to be a bit more creative with my tactic. And there's a job that came up from Newark, going to Newark, half a mile. So I had a quick look how far away I was. I'm 24 miles away from the pickup. It's about 35 minutes drive. And I stuck on a bid of £40. Basically, my thinking is that pays me. That's basically an hour's work plus a bit of petrol, plus a bit of fuel to get from where I am to Newark. And as long as I can do the whole job in around about an hour, then that works out for me financially. So like I said, it's about 35 minutes to get to the pickup. I've got to assume about 10 minutes picking up, quarter of an hour picking up, maybe a 10-minute journey, 5-minute journey for the half mile, then another 10-15 minutes unloading, depends what it is. I'm pretty sure it's a short wheelbase van job. So once I've done this, I'll be in a better area hopefully to get another job, a third job. Staying where I was wasn't working for me. I had been there for roughly an hour trying to find a job. So this is the best I can do in the situation that I'm in. Right, cheers. Right, I've got myself my last job of the day. It's only a little one. It's coming from Witham St Hughes, which is just outside of Lincoln. It's only 15 minutes drive from my drop off in Newark. It's about 7 miles away. And it's taken me quite some time to get this job. I won't go into all the ins and outs. It's almost not worth doing, except for the fact that it's going from 15 minutes away from where I am now back to Spalding, which is about 10 minutes from where I live. This will be my record ending day being closest to home. So it's £45 for 45 miles loaded for a small van job. So the money is kind of irrelevant, it's just getting me home. But it was really awkward to try and win the job. I put a bid on, I rang the number, which was a mobile phone, went through to somebody who said they need to confirm with the customer first, then coming back. Then that got cancelled, then it came back on the system. I bid again, £45, and then I had a phone call. When I answered the phone call, they couldn't hear me. It was very frustrating because I knew what they said to me, we're ringing you about the Lincoln to Spalding job. So I said, yeah, I can do that, and they couldn't hear me. So I called them back on that office number, which is a London number. No answer. Oh, no, I got an answer at the end, and I said, oh, you just called me, that's a job from Lincoln, and the guy said, I'll have to put you through to someone else, and he said, I'll call you back. I thought, well, you're not going to call me back, are you? That's just an excuse. So I hung up. They then eventually did call me back, and a guy called back and offered me the job, but I couldn't really hear what he was saying. Very strong accents that I couldn't understand. not a great line, and it has a delay on the line. And he was asking me for my vehicle number, and I couldn't quite understand what he was saying. I understood the word number, but not the first word. And then I worked out, oh, he wants my registration, my van registration. So I gave him that, and that was a whole palaver. In the end, I gave him the information he wanted. He gave me some instructions which I could not understand. Something about photos, so I'm going to assume he wants me to take a photo at the start and the end. He wanted me to give me the number of the driver that's doing it. Well, I am the driver. It was all a bit frustrating from my point of view. But I was just thinking, just get this job done, get close to home, bring the day to a close. So it's going to be a pretty poor day, but apparently these people pay within 14 days. So we'll see if that actually happens. I somehow think they might need some chasing. I'm not completely convinced. I'm not completely convinced by them, to be honest. But I'm yet to be surprised, and hopefully it'll be alright. So I'm now 5 minutes from the pickup, and then the job itself is about 50 minutes drive. Maybe a bit more. Maybe let's say an hour drive, and then I'll be going home after that. I have got a job for tomorrow. It's only a little job, nothing to be too excited about. And tomorrow is my last day working in August. So I'll probably update you on the way down to Spalding with my stats for the day, and then that'll be it. Right then, stats time for today being Wednesday. I've used the same fuel tank that I put up yesterday, so today's average fuel price remains at 13.82 pence per mile. I have driven today 177 miles, 177, and I have worked today for a total of 7 hours. Quite a short day. I've earned from 3 CX jobs £155, 155, which is exactly the same as I earned yesterday. I've spent less on fuel. I've only spent £24 and 46 pence on fuel, which means that my net earnings today, after taking into account fuel, comes to £131, 131. So in the 2 days I've worked, I've made in the region of £250, 250 net, and obviously that doesn't even cover my business cost yet for the week. But it all adds together for the monthly total, so I hope my month will be reasonably good. Right, okay, thank you very much for listening to this video. Today is definitely the record for me ending up close to home. I'm 11 minutes drive away, about 4 miles from home, and I shall be back at work tomorrow for the last day in August. We'll see how the day goes tomorrow. Farewell, friends.